Hey everybody, I'm Mace, your host of the Mad Mortgage Show, your source for no BS in-depth mortgage discussion. Today we are joined by none other than the CEO of SimpleNexus himself, Matt Hansen. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on the show.
This is actually one of the first episodes we're getting to do in our own studio that we spent all this great amount of money and equipment on, and we've had to go remote to see Jonathan Core, and we had to do a virtual interview.
Yeah, well, hey, we're keeping our distance.
We've wiped everything down, ladies and gentlemen.
Like down the street from each other.
Yeah.
And my wife, she gave me the
You're prepared.
the sanitizer. So I'm very prepared.
We have toilet paper. So you didn't have to bring that.
Good. Well, you're one of the smart ones. So it was kind of a funny thing. Somebody was saying to me, why is it that all the stupid people are the only ones with toilet paper now?
Right?
Huh, yeah. Who's smart now?
All right. I'm not going to not shake your hand because I'm afraid of your germs. It's because you don't have toilet paper. So, let's jump in. What exactly does SimpleNexus do?
So SimpleNexus, I'll give a little quick bit of background. We started really is like this calculator.
You beat my
tool.
question on how you got started, but I guess we'll go to
it.
I'm
sorry. Okay, so
let's do the starting.
The starting helps give a little bit of context.
Okay.
But we started like this marketing tool, right? Like a calculator, and it just kind of kept growing over the years. Dodd-Frank started getting some teeth and all that, and fast forward to today, and we connect the loan officer, the realtor, and the borrower, and the title agent today as far as communication, getting the process done quicker, all the way from capturing referrals through, signing docs and closing, and we focus on mobile, right? So that's our thing. Today we're about 115 employees.
You've seen some growth over the past few years.
We have. We bootstrapped the company through 2014. Through 2018. And at that point in time, we were about 45 employees. So we raised one round of capital. We don't have intentions to raise more. We'll keep going.
What makes your system better than the others?
Would
it be fair to say a point of sale is part of what you do?
It's a piece, right? And I don't want to compare us to like LMA because they do way more, right, as far as software goes. But they have a point of sale, but that's not what they do.
Right.
There are some similarities in that we have a point of sale. It's not what we do. We're really very focused on getting the technologies and relationships connected. Point of sale happens to be an important part of that. So what makes us better? I'll try and look at this objectively, right? Without, because everybody's biased, but when it comes from a mobile perspective, we don't really seem to have any competitors today.
There's not many people in that.
Right. I mean, when it comes to realtor referrals sending over to loan officers, I mean, how many companies really are doing that effectively? Where a borrower maybe has one place where they're doing their home search, they're applying for their mortgage, loan officers are signing their documents. We're getting disclosures, signed in 2.5 hours, fully executed and back into, the LOS. I don't really know that anybody else is necessarily doing that. When it comes to point of sale, I like to think that our flexibility is an advantage, because lenders have so many different ways of doing business, even within a single lender, right? You're going to have loan officers who...
Wait, you're telling me every mortgage company wants things their own way?
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. But even within a single lender, even within the same branch, right? You'll have loan officers who work with realtors, and you'll have loan officers who work with builders, right? And then consumer direct and reverse, right? And they all have to be very different. And so one size doesn't fit all for them. And so we're very flexible in that manner.
Got it. So what do you think is the biggest thing lenders would have a misconception about SimpleNexus?
like, I think it goes just historically, right? Like,
it's like basically like, what are the common questions and things that, like, when you end up talking to a lender, that they're coming to you saying, hey, help me get there. Like, what are the biggest kind of hurdles you see as you engage a new client and they're trying to come on board? What are those, if you're ready to move forward with Simple Nexus and you ask these certain questions to help get them going, what are some of those?
Well, so one of the common misconceptions is we've been around now for 9 years. And so what we used to do is not what we do today.
Right.
Every 6 months it's dramatically different. But another thing that I would say, as far as I think what's been important to lenders is making sure that they don't have to straddle systems. Right? We're very, very much follow the philosophy of that you work where you're comfortable doing the work. So, for example, we're not trying to pull people out of their LOS. We want them in their LOS, ideally, right? Yeah, we're going to provide some tools for when you're out in the field or whatever, but we're not going to try and make people straddle systems.
Catering to that same thing you just said, everybody does things different.
Yeah, and so that's a strong philosophy of ours. And then another, another really big thing is that I feel very comfortable saying that we will do what we say we'll do.
Mm-hmm. Delivering on your promise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think prevents lenders from innovating the most? We see, like, right now, Eclosings, our phones are blowing up. They've been around for years now, but now it's top of mind and everybody's rushing to get there. What is it that you see that lenders really holds them back a lot?
I think there are two things. One is complexity of the space, right? So you've got vendors who like kind of jump from topic to topic, and some stay very much in like, hey, here's our lane, this is what we're going to do, and that's fine. And then others, I think it's really easy to become overconfident in what you can deliver effectively in the space. We've got over 7,000 vendors in the space, and they're all doing their own niche.
Right.
And to think that you can jump over and then deliver on what requires 4 other vendors to do, like, very, very quickly, it's easy to look at a surface, like face value, and think that's going to be easy to deliver. And then when it comes to actually delivering it, it's much more complex. And so I think that is one component. I think another component is, and this has increased, the space is so heavily regulated that you got to be really, really careful that you don't you don't do things wrong. And so I think as an industry, we've moved towards a place of being very checklist oriented, and we want to get through. Here are the steps to get. And so in a lot of ways, we're very much like, here is the process, here's the manufacturing process we follow, don't change that on me.
It's almost like once something comes out and starts establishing a norm, for instance, like point of sale, that wasn't a word 4 years ago in this industry, right? There's not, you need to be able to give the lender something like, hey, this is the shit you need to do, and there is a checklist, right? Like Eclosing now kind of has that, which has been great. And we've jettisoned ourselves 2 to 3 years forward. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's one of the benefits of this virus is we see the regulation they're trying to get passed really quickly, and it's definitely helped us for sure. So what is your take on the Eclosings?
It's my take. I'm excited. I'm watching the legislation really closely. I think it's sweet. Again, it's something where everybody's trying to scramble and find a good solution. Mm-hmm. It's going to mean another login for borrowers. I don't know how many a borrower has on a loan now, 5, 6, 7. Like, if you consider like searching for the home and appraisal and your closing and your point of sale and maybe portal, maybe disclosures. And so there's another login for the borrower.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's still really awesome. And it's just good.
Yeah. Well, that's funny you mentioned that. That's where I get to plug up Mason Innovations. That's our whole goal is seamlessness. So that way there's never another login, because we recognize that.
Yeah.
So do you have any plans to embrace Eclosing with SimpleNexus yet? or is he still letting it kind of settle?
Yeah, well, everybody's got plans now, right? So like COVID didn't really affect us all that much from an operation standpoint, right? I mean,
You guys are working from home.
We've got our BCP and we execute on it, and everybody's at home, right? And from that perspective, it's not a real big deal. What it has done is really shifted product priority focus, because everybody, and their pets are wanting to talk about Eclos, right? Like when are you going to have this, right? So yeah, there's a product shift, and we anticipate delivering a hybrid in 6-8 weeks, and a full Eclos shortly after. But that's that. I mean, so is everybody else,
right?
So
one of the things I was going to ask you is what is next for Simple Nexus? I think it got handed to you. What's
but
other than that, what is next?
Another thing that changed in priority from a product perspective for us is because of everybody's much more distributed now. It used to be remote work, right? Like it was like remote workers. Now it's distributed workers, right? And that's probably going to be more of the new normal.
Yeah.
And so there's a product enhancement that we've had kind of as a hasn't been the priority for us for a while, but it's a product that internally, I don't know what we'll call it when it hits the market, but internally we've been calling it Connexus. And it's basically Slack.
I think that's a good name.
Yeah, it's basically Slack for your loan teams, right? And not just on the production side or the manufacturing side, but on so the borrower, the realtor, the loan officer, the processor, the whoever's closing, maybe the title agent, right? And they can all connect and have individual channels and then a connected channel where they can all communicate with each other. Try and save the back and forth between the processor and the loan officer and the realtor and the borrower.
Yeah.
And so they can have this one update place to go that's secure, right? They don't have to try and use like text message chains and things like that and having information get loose out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're really excited about that.
I love that idea. I think I actually wanted to do something like that before whenever had a mortgage company where it's like, I wanted a central repository for all communication in the loan. There's nothing worse than having to email somebody and say, this loan, it's...
Yeah, well, and so like the borrower will ask the realtor, like I can't get a hold of my loan officer, right? Or something, right? So the realtor asks the loan officer. In the meantime, the borrower has asked the loan officer. So the loan officer is going to ask the processor. And the processor is going to get back to the loan officer, who's going to email the realtor, who doesn't see the email. And it's just there's just got to be a better way.
And then the underwriter finally told the processor the answer that they told the LO to.
Right. Yeah. And so yeah, we're really excited about that. And expect to see that hit the streets, in April, possibly May.
So what's some other exciting technology you see out in the space that gets you going?
There's a company, full disclosure, I sit on the board, but there's a company called Homebinder, that's for homeowners to manage their home, which I think is a really cool way for lenders and loan officers co-brand it with realtors, and be synonymous with the home.
Well, explain manage your home. Like
keeping up on all the warranties, keeping up on everything, like all your appliances, what work has been done in different parts of your home, what are if there are recalls, making sure those are taken care of, getting connected with the right professionals to get things taken care of in your home. But it keeps the home synonymous with the lender, right? So I think that's pretty exciting.
Definitely a lot of opportunity to recapture that potential borrower on their next transaction.
Right. Yeah.
Or refinance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that'd be a cool thing to open up right now that said hit refi.
Yeah, and I like it because it's not a company. It's not like so right now homeowners are just in their homes, right? And so I think that's a good time to have some way of reaching out to former borrowers and saying, hey, you know what, like here's like while you're at home, Here's a great way of
Right.
a way to like kind of get it all in order,
Right.
right? Instead of having a big folder with like piles of contacts and stuff.
So we had some interesting data we looked at yesterday with Ellie Mae about the days to close on refinances is going down, and people being at their homes. I'm really interested to see how much more response we get from borrowers and watching that refinance turn time decrease, because they're actually going to be giving you everything you asked for. I think that's going to be an interesting thing to see. So what do you see the role of the LO being in the next 5 years? Are seeing that shift?
It's what I think the role of the LO should be today, and
Which is?
and I mean they're sales, right? I mean the LO like should be drumming up business. That's why they work for the mortgage company, right? They don't work for the mortgage company to process loans,
Right.
right? But they do a lot of that today.
Right.
I think the future is going to be a lot more of LOs out continuing to build out their relationships and get more loans in the door.
Being more a relationship manager.
Yeah, yeah. And I think technology is going to get us a lot closer there. But that's what I think they should be doing right now.
Products like Simple Nexus.
Hey, we like to help. We like to help, you know. But I mean, of course, so it's a weird double-edged sword there, right? Because you're of course going to be influenced to say things that support your product in the marketplace. On the flip side, you're going to build your product based on what you believe.
Right.
So ideally, they work well together.
And I think the LOs like that. They don't like to be in the LOS or in the office.
Yeah. Well, if I'm an LO, I don't want to go check off intent to proceed.
Right.
Right. Like I want to be out at my kid's ball game, talking with the realtor friend there who's there with his kid too.
Right.
Right.
Right. No, it makes total sense. I wouldn't want my originator to be having to do that. That's a waste of money, right? If every time they're not selling, I'm losing my money.
Yeah.
So tell us about Snug, the Simple Nexus user group, and why I haven't been invited.
Oh man. Okay. So Snug.
Go on.
So Snug, Simple Nexus user group. It's been we've done it 2 years now up at Snowbird. First year they had avalanche control out and like had to shut the road down. But it's been a really, really cool intimate setting. It's primarily lender leaders who come to the event. We don't really open it up necessarily to loan officers, at least we haven't so far. Maybe a couple of high producers to come and talk about how they're having success. So, you know, we had it this year. It was right before event, like things just kind of started to shut down. It was in February. And so it's been very good. And I personally haven't really been involved in like the who's coming, who's not coming, but I'll get involved this next year. So let's get you there.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I saw it on LinkedIn, I think 2 years ago. And then I was like, I need to talk to him about that. And then I saw it again just now. And I was like, man, I got to give him some shit on this show.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm sorry. I will make sure we get that straight.
So the person who does handle that job, when they watch this video, you should be worried.
Yeah.
Matt's handling it now.
Yeah. So no, they do a really incredible job. We had a dinner up at 11,000 feet up above Snowbird and had some entertainment there. And
we live in a beautiful state.
It was sweet.
Yeah. So we end every episode with us asking you to tell us something about Matt Hansen that nobody knows. And then obviously we want you to go plug anything you like for a minute. So what's something that people don't know about Matt Hansen?
Well, I'm not going to be so brave to say something that nobody knows, but
that you can share on this show.
Yeah. No, personal things like I love to scuba dive. Went to plow in January. That was very cool. Almost every dive was 100 plus feet of visibility and 83 degree water, no matter the depth, and just incredible, right? Saw tons of manta rays, sharks, shipwrecks, live ammunition still underwater at the beaches where this big war
That's cool.
with Japan happened, and or big battles, like a big giant one, but that was really cool. I love to get out. I like warm water. I like cold water. I like all of it. Other things, I grew up in a family of entertainers, so I was like kind of grew up like stagehand for my parents.
Oh,
All over the country, or in Nashville many times, and
that's cool.
all that. And I'm the black sheep. I'm more reserved. I'm not really an entertainer. I like to write code and stuff like that. So
those typically aren't two common traits to see together.
Yeah. So,
that's why they made you the stagehand.
Yeah. No, they're like, yeah, there's something wrong with this boy. Have him carry stuff. No, it's good though. Both my sisters went on and they never made it big, but they signed record deals and stuff. And
oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it's been part of the family for a long time, but not my thing.
Well, I knew about the scuba diving. That one definitely threw me for a curveball.
Yeah. There are videos of me performing as a kid, and
will you make a note to look?
I had a song that played on Radio Disney for a better part of more than a decade.
Okay, we're gonna try and provide a link to this underneath this video. Well, now I think I know what you're gonna plug, but take a minute to plug whatever you want.
Oh gosh. I think I've already kind of plugged what I wanted to plug, but as far as Simple Nexus goes,
somebody's interested in Simple Nexus, what should they do?
If somebody's interested in Simple Nexus, just go to our website, simplenexus.com. I like to think that we're probably about the most flexible vendor anybody will find. But the other thing is,
except for Mace Innovations.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's like, you don't even have to say that. No, but I think a big thing with us, and even despite now we work with hundreds of lenders, but we do what we say we'll do, right? And if there's an exception to that, I personally am going to get involved because there's a misunderstanding somewhere, right? And so that's something I just take a lot of pride in, is just our integrity of who we are.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. I'm going to give you a dab, and then you can use your hand sanitizer.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I've got it right here.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Mace.